Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Megan Glova. Well, say goodbye to PNC Arena and say hello to Lenovo Center. Joining us now to talk about the new name and the contract that goes with it is WRAL Sports Investigative reporter Brian Murphy. Brian, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what are some of the key points or takeaways from this agreement?
Yeah, Lenovo has agreed to a 10-year deal worth $60 million to be the naming rights sponsor for the Raleigh venue that is home to the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, NC State men's basketball, as well as concerts and family events like Disney on Ice or monster truck rallies. Formerly known as PNC Arena, and that's what most people probably think of the name as.
Oh, yeah.
It's been PNC Arena since 2012 when PNC took over for RBC, which RBC had it from 2002 to 2012. And before that, it was the Entertainment and Sports Arena. When it was originally built in 1999, for the first couple of years, it was the Entertainment and Sports Arena. And so this will be a big change. I think fans will have to get used to calling it Lenovo Center as opposed to PNC Arena.
Oh, yes, especially for the NC State grads like myself. But what's there to be said about a decade-long agreement? Lenovo must feel pretty confident about Raleigh's growth, maybe the Canes fan base, or a combination of both.
Yeah, I think a big development here is the redevelopment that's happening around this arena. Mm-hmm. That recently got approved in 2023. There were many agreements signed, including a long-term lease for the Hurricanes. So they have some now stability that they're going to be at the Lenovo Center for quite a while. And part of that, the Hurricanes got the rights to redevelop up to 80 acres of land around what is now the Lenovo Center. And just this week, they announced their plans for at least the first phase of that, including parking garages, parking structures, 5-acre tailgate zone, a 4,000-seat music venue, retail and restaurants, bars, hotel, housing options. So I think all of that kind of played a role in, okay, this development that we've been hearing about for decades is actually going to happen. Obviously, Lenovo and the Hurricanes were negotiating well before that, but I think that was the impetus to sort of make all of this happen. Was this part of Raleigh is going to expand and have sort of explosive growth.
Yeah.
Lots more people are going to be coming to that complex. Carter Finley Stadium located right there as well. More people are going to be coming to that complex, and more people are going to be able to see the name that is outside of the building.
Right. Good timing. And are there any changes outside of just the name on the outside of the building that will come from this agreement? Or is it kind of just behind the scenes things that we won't really notice as fans?
Yeah, I think as fans, you'll certainly notice the new signage. I mean, all the PNC signage is down. The Lenovo signage is going up at center ice. You will see the Lenovo Center logo and the Lenovo Center wording there, and that was sort of a hint that this was going to happen in an EA Sports trailer for their new hockey game. It said Lenovo Center during a Canes home game during that trailer. That's how we first got wind that this was going to happen. A little behind the scenes, but I don't think the average fan is going to notice anything different. I mean, there's already Lenovo signage going up. Some of the walls are painted purple and with the red Lenovo sign on them. But I think the greater changes are coming to the arena. Obviously, a $300 million renovation project is about to start next summer. The development project that we talked about is slated to start in December of 2025 after the next NC State football season. That's when you're going to see massive changes to the arena and to the arena area.
Right. And although Lenovo does have local ties, it is an international company. Is there any benefit to having a partnership with an international company like Lenovo versus one that's more regional like PNC?
Well, Lenovo is a Chinese company. It makes computers. It bought parts of the IBM business over the last 2 decades. Obviously, IBM has a huge presence in the Triangle, but Lenovo for almost 2 decades has been in Morrisville as their North American headquarters. They also have a fulfillment center outside of Greensboro. So this is a company with pretty deep ties to the area, and I'm not sure they get enough credit for that, not credit from us, but credit as a local business. And I think this is one way for them to sort of embed themselves in the community a little bit more when people see Lenovo when they go to these games. So I think from them it was sort of a strategic move to boost their profile here in the Triangle, maybe get a little more attention, get a little more credit for being a major employer in the area and things like that. I know this question is sort of framed the other way. What benefit does the arena get from having that? Well, certainly every time they're on television, they do esports events that get twitched all over the world. I think the biggest benefit for the arena to have, and Raleigh to have kind of a global company as opposed to more a regional company is just in that reach, right? Lenovo's a much bigger company than PNC in many ways. It has tentacles that expand. And the other thing is Lenovo is committed to bringing technology to PNC Arena in a way that I don't think, PNC Bank just simply doesn't work in that sphere.
Right.
But there are a lot of things you can do with technology. We're seeing it at stadiums all across the country as far as entrance and exit, as far as getting food, maybe even getting food delivered to your seat, using sort of technology to make the fan experience better. We heard a lot from Lenovo and the Hurricanes about they really want to tap into that and see if there are things they can do to enhance the fan experience through technology.
So still in the works, not necessarily part of some of these renovation plans yet.
Right. Some of that stuff is being tested out, I think, at other arenas, and let's see how it works. The Amazon Go, where you can just pick up stuff from a food mart and somehow it scans your face and knows what you bought and charges whatever credit card you have on file. Other arenas have sort of weigh stations, where you put your stuff down on a scale. It somehow gets scanned. They tell you exactly how much you owe. Very little interaction with another person. They're trying to do, and this is part of the renovation, but having a technology company behind them might help. But all of this is to increase that fan experience, right? If you can get your food faster, if you can get your food with less friction, then you can move more people through there, and you can increase the fan experience that way. Nobody wants to go wait in line for food forever.
Miss the game.
Right. You miss the game. You miss time with your friends. So I think from that standpoint, the Hurricanes and Lenovo could be a real good match in terms of what can we do to make this arena more technologically friendly and enhance that fan experience in that way.
And let's talk about the benefit the main teams of the arena get out of this. The Carolina Hurricanes and NC State basketball. What do they gain, if anything, out of this partnership? Yeah,
well, the Carolina Hurricanes are the ones who cut the deal. They're the ones who get to negotiate the naming rights for the arena. So they get to keep the money. Some of that money is shared with NC State as a tenant. And then the Centennial Authority, which owns PNC Arena, gets a flat fee from the Hurricanes for using the arena, running the arena, all that stuff. So it doesn't really matter how big the contract is. The fee remains the same. The fee structure for the Centennial Authority remains the same. But the Hurricanes are a business, right? They're trying to generate as much money as possible to help with the salary cap and rising salaries in the NHL, and all that money gets calculated together. So it's a really good deal for the Hurricanes. And it's also, I like to say NC State, I think, is the biggest beneficiary of all of this. They're getting a $300 million renovation to their basketball arena, and they're not paying anything.
Right.
They're getting this development around their football facility and their basketball facility. They're not really paying anything for it. So I think in some ways now, and NC State does get a big say. Like, this contract had to be approved by them as well, had to be approved by the Centennial Authority for sort of community standards. But I think in many ways, NC State benefits from all of this stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense because I feel like a lot of people who are NC State fans, simply because they go to the university or they're from the area, you kind of automatically become a Canes fan too, just because you're watching all of these sports in one place.
Yeah, and the arena for 25 years has delivered. It was put in place to be NC State's men's basketball facility. The people who planned it had the foresight to make it big enough to get a hockey team. And then when the Hurricanes moved from Hartford and the stadium was ready, I think it's been this 25-year relationship between all those people, between the school and the team and the Centennial Authority. And now all of a sudden there's been so much buildup, right, over the last couple of years. What are they going to do with all that? Are they going to renovate the arena? Are they going to do the development? We've been talking about it for so long. Now it's actually here. And I think some of that Lenovo saw and said, we want to be a part of that.
Fantastic. A very exciting expansion. Brian, thanks so much. And thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. You can find more podcasts from WRAL News at WRAL.com. Search podcast. From sports to true crime, there are plenty of shows to keep you informed and entertained. We'll see you next time.